Hey traders, so this is a quick midday brief of some things I'm looking at here. So basically we got a breakdown today. Okay guys, so I currently have my market webs and three different anchored VWAPs on my charts. Okay, this here is the August, so that's going to be our new support here. When I draw the a trend line so I can look at these in smaller time frames, that's what I do. I just anchor it from one end to the beginning of the anchored VWAP, and that gives me my trend of the anchored VWAP. And I don't really pay attention with the stuff in the middle. All that stuff through here doesn't really matter. This is the primary trend of the anchored VWAP from the beginning to the end. So, or you can actually do this to, uh, potentially. We're a long ways away from that, so that you don't that's not really relevant. This right here is really relevant, and then that way, whenever I do that, I can actually go down in smaller time frames and draw my other lines. So we got this one here was from the 19th. I anchored it off Monday the 19th, and then I anchored this line right here from the 26th. Okay, if I go down a smaller time frame, 30 minutes, and basically what I can show you guys right here, right now, what was telling me early on this morning. So right here, we started breaking. Right at the 9:30 buzzer, we were breaking last week's anchored VWAP right out of the gate. So it just told me immediately that we should be net short on the Qs, crossing that line to kick off a new month and uh, well, basically we kicked off a brand new month, and it was just looking bad. Okay, and so there we go on SPY. So SPY was breaking the anchor VWAP right out of the right at 9:30 this morning. Now let me go back over here on Qs, see if I got them drawn out properly. I'm just going to do the main indices real quick here. And you can do these lines, these anchor VWAPs on the individual stocks. And I tell you, it was looking ugly this morning on the Qs. We had Microsoft and Amazon and possibly Tesla. They were still holding above last week's anchored VWAP line, but man, I'm sure most of those are broken now. Okay, so yeah, I got these drawn out. These are all drawn out. Okay, so go down to 30 minutes. And as you can see right here, that's when we broke, and that was around 9 o'clock. So at 8:30, I got the 30-minute on. So 9 o'clock this morning, we actually went bearish on last week's inventory. So once you cross that line, man, that is our signal to go short. Short. So heads up, we were getting that pre-market signal here on the Qs, and the signal that was coming up first before all of them was Russell, because I left around 6:30 this morning, and the Russell had already given us a short signal early on. And let me remind you, in my last video, I was talking about how the slope was so steep on this thing right here. So it was showing the most relative strength last week. Boom, they came in today, and they just destroyed anybody who was in long in that situation. Okay, uh, so there you go. Put my little line on here, and then I'll switch over to the smaller time frame. That way I'm good to go. Okay, and then get over here in the smaller time frame. There you go. And so basically what I had going on here, you see that weird little velvet line right there. So I was getting a breakdown. We were breaking, well, hell, we were below it at 4:30 this morning. So 5 o'clock this morning, we broke below our last week's support, and then we just went sideways. Okay, but you would have had this candle here, you'd have been stopped out. Okay, so it was a really hard trade in the Russell here early on this morning. Okay, it wasn't until 9:30 that actually the trade manifested itself to the short side. You got these long wicks here that they would have been shopping to take out those shorts, but we did have an early sell signal here in the diamonds, And then if you go over here to, or in the IWM, I mean, if you go over here on the diamonds, check it out real quick. I don't know if I have them drawn out very good yet. Yeah, I got this one here. Yeah, don't. And that, so I just need to add this one here. That's our monthly anchored view up right there. Just got to anchor that real quick. I'll get this updated real quick while I'm with you guys. Okay. There you go. Now I go down to 30 minutes. Got those lines, hard lines in place there. So here we are, diamonds. It was 10 o'clock before the diamonds actually started manifesting themselves to the short side. So we're on the bearish side of inventory now. And we're back into 2 weeks ago support. This is 2 week ago support. So if we start accepting prices below that, then that's actually giving us another signal to the short side. Right now, we're currently bear flagging off that critical support here on the diamonds. So some things I was looking at real quick this morning. Apple, look, we were opening up 5:30 this morning. We're already bearish. Could not get back, go back above last week's anchored VWAP, the purple line, and it just cratered from there. We just couldn't hold above it. Apple, Microsoft was actually showing that they were trying. So we were above last week's anchored VWAP for the close, and they tried to push it up. And this was actually 2 weeks ago, the anchored VWAP. So we are actually they were trying to find buyers to push us up for a bullish reversal, into a potential cycle low, and it got rejected, So now we're breaking down. We're in the bearish side of inventory. Very easily could be revisiting down here at the bottom of Microsoft. Tesla was another one that had that bullish breakout. It's holding in fairly decent. It's looking so far like the strongest pattern of all the techs that I'm seeing so far. Other things, NVIDIA was a very bearish chart this morning. Very bearish. Didn't even revisit last week's anchored VWAP. We came in this morning and it looked brutal. It really did look brutal this morning. AMD, it was rejecting this morning. So AMD did actually come back up around 7:30, rejected, and and now we got 2 weeks rejection right there, and just crapped out. Google, I was actually thinking Google was due for a cycle date bounce on the daily time frame. Well, they just came up. They said we don't have anything to do with that. It came up to the anchored VWAP, back tested where it possibly could find some buyers, and just completely dumped right into your face on that. Amazon was the strongest Friday, and it's still acting pretty good. So we still have Amazon and Tesla acting okay, but everything else looks like crap. So heads up on that. And Meta's another one to me. Not looking too good. What's going on in Brazil with Twitter? I think it's actually having an impact on Meta as well. So heads up on that. It's kind of more of a consolidation area. It's just not getting that momentum to the downside. So there you go. That's some things I'm looking at here. And 1 second here. Let's see. Is TLT? Is it TLT up today? Yeah, TLT's up today. Cool. Okay. So Friday, TLT's up here. So we're probably not inverted yet. Let me double check it real quick. Oh, this is another chart I had, guys. You see right here. So I got the SPY versus the Dixie. This is giving me an indicator that we might be topping out here in the markets. So I posted that in my chat room. Okay, guys, to finish it out here real quick. So we are right, really, really pushing it pretty close here on parity here in the oh, I don't want weekly. Let me put this down to daily. Or I don't know if it'll go intraday 1 hour. No, it's not gonna let me do it. Okay. So bottom line is, guys, so here's what we got going on here. We're almost at parity right here, right now. Okay, so heads up on that. So basically, guys, today we did come down to parity this morning. So basically, the 2-year and the 10-year were exactly the same on yield. Okay, so we've actually got back to this. So we were right there, and now we're getting an initial bounce here off of that. We almost went back, undoing the inversion in the yield curve. So we're right there trying to do it. So be mindful of that. And what really triggered the markets today was a report that Bank of Japan might be raising interest rates, and that's even further. That's reigniting the carry trade unwind. So that's another reason why the markets are dumping like they are. Okay, thanks a lot for listening.